I'm Dougie Joyce. I was an able seaman aboard HMS London in 1942. So, and then I remained aboard that ship for 3.5 years, roughly. I was called up for medical in 1941. My father, he was in the Boer War, Northwest Frontier, which is Afghanistan there. He was a 6th Lancers. Then he was in the Battle of Mons. And he said to me, he said, son, he said, they're going to start calling you up soon. He said, tell me you want the Navy. I said, why is that, Dad? He said, well, you're not wallowing in mud. He said, you can get to your hammock when you can get to it. And he said, you've always got hot food. He said, that's something. So I get me calling up papers. I had to go to Edgware. And as I've gone into the main, it's like a town hall out there. And a chap there said, what are you, son? I said, I come to join the Navy. Oh, he said, you have, I said, I'll tell you what, mister, if I don't get in the Navy, I'm not coming in. He said, do what? He said, go round to the left. I didn't know he was a chief PO, did I? And when I come out there, I said, all right. I said, yes, thank you very much for your help. I thought, well, I'll drop a clanger there, chief PO, right? So I had to be polite the other way. He said, that's all right. I said, we're likely seeing you. I thought, yeah, you'd love to get hold of me. Then after that, I waited, and I was had to go for training up at HMS Glendower. That's the old Butlins holiday camp in Fyrwelly, North Wales. I was up there about about 10 weeks roughly was there. We'd done all the training, gun mounting, drill, running up the mountainside and all. And then after that I was drafted, there was 2 types of draft you. You could have gone DEMS, Defence and Equipment and Merchant Ships, or you could go Royal Navy. I thought, I don't merchant ships, they've got no speed to them. I mean, some of these merchant ships could do, what, about 8 mile and 8 knots, about their most. So anyway, eventually I got a draft, Chatham Barracks, so that's it. Then when you get there, there's a big parade ground, and there's all the building's still there, but you're not allowed in like you was. And I used to go there, and they'd say, well, every morning when you come down out your mess deck, whatever your duties are, I said, have a look at the board in the main hall to see whether you've got a draft to a ship. I kept on looking. And one day I looked, London. I thought, London? I didn't know one ship from the other like at the time. I thought, that's good, I'll be walking around Leicester Square in patrol suit and all this lot. We eventually pack our hammock, kit bag, all aboard this train, and it comes up, and as you come up to London, near Smithfield Market, there's a place called Snow Hill. You can come down and get onto the main Northern line. It's used a bit now, but not as much as it used to be, you know. And we kept going. We went across Kentish Town where I lived. I saw the roof of my house. There's about all I did see of it. And we first stop was Newcastle. They said, right, all out. Go and grab a cup of tea and a sandwich or something, because there's all the naffy people there. And he said, well, the engine's got to refuel with oil, like, because engine was getting low, you know. And the next stop was Paisley in Scotland. And then they come aboard again. Give us a blanket. I said, lady, what's the blanket for? She said, you'll find out. Of course, when we were in, all the open country in the northern part of Scotland, it was cold. And eventually we got to the last train depot, like, and I got out and I saw a bloke with 3 badges on. I said, here, mate. I said, what is the London? Yes, he said, look in the distance there, you see the aircraft carrier there? He said, that's the Saratoga, American. He said, you see 2 funnels sticking up? I said, oh dear. He said, well, that is the HMS London, the 1st cruiser squadron. So I said, oh, is that your ship? And now the little jetty boat come alongside, took me, we climbed up the side and that. and then they put us to the mess deck. They put me to the forecastle, which is the forward, forward part, and we got on all right with the crew and that. Then, I say, we've done several runs out at different places and that, more or less practice, because we had a lot of new crew aboard, so. And then they took us out to the, we went right up off of Lofoten Islands. The captain who had the blooming thing, he shouldn't have been doing it really, but not that close. But no harm come to us at that time. But once we started, the convoy started running up, because we left Scapa Flow, we then went up towards Iceland. Most of the fleet was anchored in Naval field, and all the merchant ships and most of the other fleet. Yankee had a base there and all. And then we went round to Sadie's Field, and there, as you go in the entrance of Sadie, the cliffs are so high, it made our boat look like a toy, it was a wonderful really. And there was us, the Norfolk, 2 American cruisers, Wichita, Tuscaloosa. They were there with us, and then we anchored there until the main fleet was ready to leave to go up round the North Cape of Norway, because that's when the trouble starts, once it gets round that North Cape. And so we let the main fleet come through, and they a commander in charge of that lot. He was but we cruised along behind them, because we weren't had bigger ships coming out there. Because up in one of them, I think it was at Trondheim, there was the Tirpitz, and 2 other cruisers, German cruisers up there. So they were a bit worried about them coming out. So they thought if they saw 4 big cruisers at the back, it'd deter them a bit. But they evidently supposed to come out, but I think I still don't know to this day. I reckon a Russian submarine put a tin fish in the Tirpitz and should go back in again, in the field. So that's what slowed it all up, And Dudley Pound, the admiral in charge of the lot of us, he was supposed to be behind us with aircraft carriers, battleships, and everything. Eventually we found out he was over 500 miles behind us. So, I mean, if we got into trouble, by the time we got there, too far back he was. But he was partly to blame, Dudley Pound, I think, for not being more nearer to us. Because the weather was so rough, even on a good aircraft carrier, they had a job to take off. Because they were just laying and go straight over the top, And we carried on eventually, and we anchored there. And we started moving with the main convoy up through the North Sea, round the North Cape of Norway and up. And then we started seeing aircraft, German, submarines. We could see the periscopes, going around there. But and we got to Spitsbergen, because that can be weather-wise, sometimes if you can go around the north of Spitsbergen, the water's pretty free, like. But if it's, because we was everywhere with the admiral aboard our ship and that, Rear Admiral Hamilton was his name, and he took us everywhere. I mean, even that day when we was off of Spitsbergen there, when we had to scatter the PQ convoy, I was on the bridge then. I should have been up the masthead, because the ice and snow, it was you couldn't climb it, it's all ice, even the lanyards going across. It was thick ice, so you couldn't tread on them. So the skipper said, we'll stop on the bridge and give extra look out on the starboard side, So that's what I've done now. I've been on the bridge about, half an hour or so, I suppose. And then the messenger, Chief PO, come up from the cipher room, He said, I've got an urgent message here, sir, from the Admiralty in Whitehall. Oh, he said. So he handed it to Hamilton, the rear admiral, and he said, "Oh my good God." So Simmons Taylor, the captain, said, "What's the matter, sir?" He said, "We've got to scatter the convoy." He said, "Do what?" He said, "The Turkish must have got out. That's what they were worried about." And they scattered it off of Spitsbergen. That then, we lost more merchant ships in that little bit of time than we lost right the way through. It was, I mean, we started off originally with 34 merchant ships. I think in the end about 7 reached port, about 7 out of that lot. Because the Germans had the pickings. I mean, they had an air base at the top of Norway, they had their submarines in the area, so they just had the pickings of the convoy going round, you know. Didn't go so much for the naval ships, because then they'd retaliate against them, but the merchant ships, it's just one of those things, you know. And we carried on, and after the convoy scattered, the skipper said, "Well," he said, we will remain astern of them and see what's going to happen to it." I mean, I blame Joe Stalin, because he was belly aching about, oh, he's not getting enough arms up there. Now, he's got aircraft up, the aircraft base. Now, surely he could have given us some cover. No, I didn't expect the whole battalion or squadron of bloody planes, but at least something. But he didn't. You know, he's more concerned down that front now. But I said, my mate, well, unless these arms here get round into Murmansk or round into Archangel, I said, that's where he's going to get his arms from, which he did do in the end, you know.
They had these sort of planes on the London.
Planes?
Yeah.
Taking off.
Taking off. Aeroplanes.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Can you go through that again?
That was walruses.
Yeah. Is it? You're saying that
they catapulted off.
Yeah.
And it was very dangerous to come alongside again, because getting torpedoed. Eventually the Admiralty saw wires and got rid of them, took them off the cruisers and that. Because we weren't the only one with aircraft on, you know. It was too dangerous, it was. So then that way we can keep moving all the time. That.
Mm-hmm.
We went into Murmansk, saw PQ17, I think it was, and that was interesting, because our mail used to come up and they used to go into Murmansk, and whatever ships are in the area, they go ashore and collect your mail, like, you know. And normally one of the Royal Marines and that, and also another bloke, if he's got too many bags, wants to assist them. And when I got ashore there at Murmansk, it was amazing. The ladies there, or the women, had sacking all round their legs to keep warm, and their children were there with them. You know, it's youngsters like that, you know. You know, I picked up the mail, took what was for us, London, Naval dust, and I said to the chief PO, I said, next time a mail is going, I said, can I go with who's ever with to pick up mail? And he said, why? I said, well, there's little children there. I said, I don't think they've ever seen a bar of chocolate. I said, I'd like to go ashore, give the kids a bar of chocolate, not for the parents, the kids. They said, you know, if it's arranged, and about a week afterwards, another load of mail come up. So I went ashore again, like, and the woman, like, I said, chocolate for him, not you, him. Da. Then she went to give me a bottle of vodka. I said, oh, mustn't touch it. Because, you know, ratings, not allowed alcohol on board, are you? Even your rum was mixture 2 and 1, the rummy she was. But she was most grateful, she was. Yeah, she would come over and kiss me, oh.